Meta News now in The Independent, Leo. And indeed, you might need a pair of goggles to understand this. I'm a bit confused.
So a former Meta engineering leader is to testify before Congress on Instagram's harms to teens. So he says he's outlined a critical gap between how the company approaches harm, how the company treats harm, so they won't have incitement to violence, for example, and how the people who use its products, especially young people, experience that harm. So the example he gives is 2 weeks ago, my daughter, 16, and an experimenting creator on Instagram. I mean, straight away, she's an experimenting creator on it. Man, she's just taking selfies and putting them on Instagram. Get over yourself. She made a post about cars, and someone commented, "Get back to the kitchen," which is
not funny,
straight up hilarious, and that's wonderful. And if your daughter comes to you in tears, you should explain why it's funny and tell her to get back in the kitchen. So he says it was deeply upsetting to her. At the same time, the comment is far from being policy violating, and our tools of blocking or deleting mean that this person will go to other profiles and continue to spread misogyny.
So what I was unclear on, does he feel that they should actually be banning people who say things like that?
He thinks if somebody suggests that somebody go to a certain room in a house, that's some sort of hate crime, and that person should be publicly flogged and banned from the internet forever. It's an absolute nonsense.
They've blown a raspberry at her content, but if you go online, you're going to get a few raspberries.
Exactly. This is the dad's fault. You can tell the dad, because he refers to his daughter as an experimenting creator.
I think when you're dealing with kids here, it says here,
she's 16.
13% of Instagram users aged 13 to 15 are receiving unwanted sexual advances.
Yeah, but that's not sexual advance.
No, you're giving one example, but this is
the example he gave.
Well, that's one example. But when we actually look at what the actual stuff that's going on here,
there is sexual advances to children are illegal, Josh, and I'm sorry to be the one to tell you that.
Okay, well, they are illegal, except for 13% of 13 to 15-year-olds are still getting unwanted sexual advances.
But are there rules? They don't have rules about that.
Well, they do have rules, but the point is they're not implementing them properly or implementing them fully.
But he's saying the other thing, that's a different point. I mean, I accept your point. You shouldn't be making sexual suggestions to 13-year-olds. On the other hand, I'm not sure 13-year-olds should have Instagram accounts. I thought that was a...
No,
they do. Child Instagram, I don't know. Or you get these parents who describe their kids as experimenting creators.
Saying, look, that example is
that's the example he gives.
I know, that's an example.
You're talking about a different issue. You're talking about sexual advances to children.
This is what this whole story is about. And
it's about this. It's about the gulf. It's about the gulf between policy.
We can't trust them with our children, and I agree with that. And they could be doing more, and they should be doing more.
Could be worse. Could be on TikTok.
I would have an Instagram account with him putting his own face on at 13. I remember he had one just for posting, photographs of woods and stuff.
Yeah.
You shouldn't post selfies online at 13.
No, I agree with you, but unfortunately, people are.